Okay, all right, welcome in. So today's class is going to be working on mobility for back pain and like different back issues, but mostly we'll be working on hip stuff. So it's a lot of like hip mobility, hip strengthening, as well as adding in different kinds of dynamic movement. So those of you who are familiar with gold medal bodies, you'll see some of these things are similar. I'm borrowing a few of their techniques today. So we'll be moving in different funny patterns. Those kind of Frogger things are going to come up in the bear crawls, but I have a few more additions to some of those techniques that we've seen before. So a few new things to add in there as well. For practice, we're going to need a little bit of wall space, just enough to put your feet on just a little wider than your hips, as well as a ball, or if you don't have a ball, block will also work. And I think that's it. And then I always have a couple of blocks just in case if you want to use those for different things, but we're not specifically using the blocks today. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna actually let's start seated against the wall, and then in a minute we'll roll over. But just to give our backs a little bit of support, let me bring you just a little closer into the wall here with me. Get a nice view of these extension cords. There we go. Okay, so we'll just sit against the wall. You can sit however is comfortable for you. If you like to have your feet on the floor, that's great. Or if you want a butterfly, it doesn't matter here. Really, I just want you to have a little bit of support against the wall so we can sort of start to tap into how our backs are feeling. So let's close your eyes. You can find your sit bones in whatever position you're in. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice big open mouth exhale. We'll just get a couple more like those going. Breathing in, maybe you find a little bit of height on your inhale. As you breathe out, start to connect to your core. Feeling your abdominals engage, your lower ribs start to pull down slightly as you breathe out. And then as you breathe in, feel that 360 degrees all the way around, especially your upper back. And then exhale for those low ribs. That's a couple more like that. Inhale, expand. Exhale, let your diaphragm come up. You pull your low ribs down. Good. A few more on your own. And before we start to bring anything else in, let's take a moment to check in with how your lower back feels. Oftentimes, lower backs are kind of in conjunction with how hips feel, or maybe how shoulders feel, or that kind of middle upper back. Just taking a second to check in with your body. Good. And you can keep your eyes closed. Let's take just a nice gentle circle with your head. Keep breathing nice and slow in through your nose. We'll open mouth exhale today. So let's reverse those circles. Nice. And then coming back to center on your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then as you exhale, we'll lean over towards the right. So right arm down, left arm's gonna lean up and over. Feel your low ribs on the right side pulling in. Feel that nice big expansion on the left. And then find a little movement for your head. Take one more big breath in here. Nice slow exhale. So you can feel your lat stretch a little bit on your back. Next, inhale straight up to center. And then exhale to the other side. Nice low ribs in on the left, good expansion on that right side, a little movement for your head. Good. One thing I like about doing things like this against the wall is you can notice if like left arm is way farther away from the wall than right arm was, or things like that. So we just kind of notice those asymmetries in our bodies as we go. Next, inhale, reach both arms overhead. And then as you exhale, we're going straight forward. As pull your low ribs in to get a little bit of rounding through your back as you come forward. And we'll just walk your hands forward and pause here for a moment. Tuck your chin a little bit towards your chest. Take a big breath in, try to expand through your upper back. And then as you exhale, pull your low ribs in. Do that one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. And then slowly come back up to center. Give yourself a couple of shoulder rolls. Whew. Nice. Good. And then we're going to twist around and put our feet against the wall, making sure that you have your ball or your block close at hand. And we're going to come against the wall with about 90 degrees. So I'm sideways like this, you can really see this. About 90 degrees in your knees right here. So my feet are aligned with my knees. My knees are right over my hips. So I've got 90 degrees in my hips. And then you're going to put your ball or your block between your knees. Okay, now this next bit's a little bit funny. So what we're going to work on doing here is finding a little bit more internal rotation right at our hip joint. So this is our femoral acetabular hip joint, right? So where the femur plugs into our pelvis. So you're going to wiggle your feet in line, but out to this side. So now my knees are pretty close together, but my feet are much wider apart. So I'm kind of in like almost a V shape. But make sure that your toes stay in line with your feet. So there'll be a tendency to turn your toes in or out. So you want your toes just straight up in line with your heels. Okay, and then you're going to give your blocker ball a little baby squeeze. And then do a little bit of that tailbone tuck. So your lower back is feeling a little bit closer to the floor. Your tailbone's going to slightly lift up without bringing your back off the ground. And then imagining, without actually moving your feet, that you're dragging your heels a little bit towards the ground so you can feel your hamstrings engage. And you can even poke your fingers around in the backs of your thighs and make sure that they're turned on. So we're looking for that hamstring engagement and a little bit of posterior pelvic tilt bias, and then squeezing into the ball. Now this is going to help bring that internal rotation. You can probably feel it, right, of your upper leg bones in your hip sockets. This is helping to make sure that our pelvic outlet is nice and opened. And then let's reach your hands up towards the ceiling here. So palms can kind of face your knees. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Now keep everything the same. You want to have that little bit of pull down on the heels. And then exhale through your mouth like you're blowing out through your straw and pull your low ribs down towards the floor. Good. Try that again. In through your nose. And then exhale, maybe even purse your lips. Good. Pause at the very bottom here. Make sure you've got your hamstrings active, your tailbone's lifting, but your lower back's still on the floor. Neck and chest relax. Breathe in through your nose. Blow out through your mouth. Pause at the bottom, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth to help relax your nervous system. So we're going to go for 3 more. In through your nose. Blow out through your mouth. Pause at the bottom. Down regulating our nervous system, connecting our muscles and our brains together. In through your nose. Blow out through your mouth. Pause at the bottom, check in with your hamstrings, little tailbone tuck, lower back still on the floor. One more time, in through your nose. Keep your chest relaxed as you exhale, press your lower ribs down. Pause at the bottom. 3, 2, 1, good. Okay, go ahead. Release everything. So move your ball or your block out of the way and then hug knees in, find a little baby circle. We're going to stay here against the wall. Good. And then we'll put feet back at the wall, but normal, so not in that, feet out wider than your knees. And then just one knee at a time, we're going to gently hug a knee in towards your chest, find a little stretch. And if you want to, you don't have to be back at that 90 degrees. So if you want a little bit more space, you can absolutely scoot away from the wall. We'll switch legs. So we'll just alternate one and then the other a couple of times. So you're pulling your leg in and your knee in a little bit towards your shoulder so you can feel that stretch happen kind of through the lower back. The intention with this is to feel that stretching in your lower back, to make sure that it feels good, it's not too heavy. Nice, and then if it feels okay to do one knee at a time, maybe you do both knees at a time and pause for a moment with both knees hugged in. If that feels like too much, you can continue to alternate. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice, slow breath back out. Good, do that one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good, and then we're going to slowly make our way to tabletop from here. So you can roll over onto one side, and then press yourself up. That's all we're going to need against the wall, so you can resituate anything that you need to, moving cameras around included. And then coming back to a tabletop here. So plant your hands underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, strap your belly, gaze forward. Make sure your fingers are spread nice and wide. You're pressing through your hands. And then exhale, round. Good. Let's do it one more time, the kind of normal yoga way, and then we're going to mess with it. Breathe in, and then exhale, round it back. Good. Come back to neutral. Look right at your fingertips. Press a little more into the ground so you're puffing up through your upper back. As you inhale this time, drop your belly, gaze forward. And now exhale, look at your fingertips and pull your low ribs in toward your pelvis. Try not to use your chest or your chin, so pull you into that back bend. Stay here, take another breath in, looking at your fingertips. Exhale, pull your low ribs even harder. So if you can get that stretch through your whole backside. One more time, pause here, keep your neck relaxed, breathe in. Exhale, blow out. Good, this time inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, let it all go. Whew. Nice, and then back to neutral. Walk your hands a little bit forward so your hips come in front of your knees. Bend your knees so your feet come off the floor. And then let your feet go side to side. Good, check back in with your arms. You want to be pressing into the ground. You can tell, because if you see me, my shoulders are kind of sagging, and now they're like really supported. So you want to go from here to here, really supported through the upper body, and then dropping it side to side. It gets really easy and we start to bring our focus in one area of the body to like lose it on the rest of the areas of our body. So we're really trying to keep the support everywhere. So thinking about your core, pulling your low ribs in on your exhale, keeping your neck relaxed. Good. Take it one more time. One side and the other side. Nice, good. Come back to your tabletop. So walk your hands back. Nice. And then we'll take some side bends. So bringing your hip and your shoulder a little bit close together on one side. So it helps if you exhale and kind of scrunch and then come to the middle. And then exhale and scrunch to the other side. Good. So remember, still pressing into the ground, supporting your shoulders. Come back to center. Exhale, scrunch. Use your low ribs pulling in to help you scrunch a little deeper. Good. Let's go one more time each side. Nice. Come back to center. Sit back on your heels. If you'd rather be up on your knees, take a second to circle out through your wrists. And then reverse. Okay, give them a good shakes. Interlace your fingers, press away. Let your chin drop towards your chest. You can stretch between your shoulder blades. Take a breath in. Get a little deeper on the exhale. Relax your chest. Use your pressing of your hands to open up your shoulder blades. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Release your hands. Circle up through your arms. Yeah, that's it. And then reverse. Good. And then we're going to come back to our tabletop position. We're going to drop down to forearms. Okay. But just because we're down on our forearms doesn't mean we get to jello out through our shoulders. So we're still pressing down into the ground. Actually, it's a little easier, right? Because we've got so much more surface area to press into the ground here. Okay, now your right arm's going to stay on the ground. Your left hand's going to come behind your lower back. So I'm still pressing into the ground with the right arm, left hand behind the lower back, and we're going to do a couple thoracic twists here. So left shoulder's going to lift on the inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to drop towards the right. So inhale is the left, and exhale, drop back down. Good. Paying attention to right shoulder the whole time. Good. 2 more. Nice. 1 more time. Good. Left arm comes down. Can you do a little shake out on that right side? Do it. And then right away, strong through the left shoulder, right hand behind your back. Yeah, you got it. You want to feel this in this left shoulder the whole time. As you inhale, you lift right elbow, right shoulder blade towards this side. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back. Use your side abs as you twist. Good. Strong through that left shoulder for 3 more. 2. Last one. Good. Release. Shake out that left side. Nice job, you guys. Whew. Good. Everybody feeling all right? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Back to normal tabletop. Hands underneath your shoulders. Find that nice press through the shoulders. Good core engagement. Keep these low ribs pulling down the whole time. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, curl your toes under. Press that downward facing dog. Yeah, let's take a moment in downward facing dog to move however it is that feels good for you. That includes being still. Make sure that your fingers are spread super wide. You're pressing your hands into the ground and we're still supporting that shoulder joint. Every time you exhale, there's just a little bit of blowing out through a balloon. Keeping your core nice and tight in the front so we're stretching through our backs. Good. Let's inhale, lift your heels up nice and high. Exhale, to hover your knees over the floor. So pressing into the ground. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, press back down. Shake out your head, yes or no. Good, we're going to do that 1 more time. Inhale, lift the heels up. Exhale, hover. Make sure you're super strong in your shoulders. Take a big breath in. Exhale, press back down. Good. This time we're going to take it to the top of your mat. Inhale, heels high. Start to shift your weight towards your hands. Press into the ground and create that back bend by exhaling with your mouth. And then step your feet up towards the top so you got lots of space for your knees to come forward. Good, that's it. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Here comes halfway lift. Next inhale, press through your heels. Keep your knees soft. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Good, we'll find a nice big side bend over to the right. Pause here, take one more breath in. Nice big exhale. Relax through your shoulders, inhale, come to center. Exhale, switch your hands, we'll lean over to the left. Good, keep these low ribs pulled in as you lean. So it's less about the rib flare and it's more about the stretching through our sides and our back. Yeah, inhale back to center, reach up nice and tall. As you exhale, cactus through your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades toward your spine. Look up towards the ceiling, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and then start to lean back. Good, inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, knees soft. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Good, press into the ground. Super strong through the shoulder joints. Hold it here. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, lower to your knees, and then lower all the way down to the floor. We'll pause here for a moment. Good. All right, and then reach your arms straight out in front of you. Make sure you keep lifting me here. Fingertips to the floor, like your little zombie arms. Now press your hands into the ground. Keep your chest and your head low to the ground. Take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, really pull your low ribs in. And then inhale, press through your fingertips, feel it through your shoulders, and start to lift your head and chest off the ground. Don't lose that pull of your low ribs towards your pelvis. Super strong core. Tops of the feet press down into the floor. Here for one more big breath in. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Nice, let's plant your hands, bend your knees, lower your forehead down, and let your feet go side to side. Good, nice big breath in. And back out. Nice. Good, you guys. From here, hands plant, inhale, back up, tabletop. Exhale, round through your back. Inhale, drop and gaze forward. Nice, good. Back to neutral. Pull your low ribs in, press the ground away, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. All right, so we're gonna head into some bear crawls next. This is where we offset one hand and one foot. So let's go right hand and left foot, just about 3 inches forward of the opposite side. And then you're gonna press into left heel. So left leg is gonna stay as straight as it can. Right knee can bend as much as you need it to. And then we'll press into the left side. Take a big breath in, you should feel that stretch. All the way up the back of your leg, big exhale, low ribs pull in. Maybe you can get the stretch to happen up your back as well, sometimes in the shoulders. Breathe one more time, in through your nose. Out through your mouth, really blow up your balloon. Nice, and then back to center. Woo, big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, other side. Left hand, right foot. Left hand, right foot, about 3 inches forward. Press back into right heel. The left knee can bend as much as you want. Right leg's going to stay pretty straight. And then you're pressing back into right side. Good. Right away, I feel my calves like crazy. But some of you are going to feel different parts of your body. Maybe it's your back. Maybe it's your hamstring. Big breath in. Really pull low ribs in on the exhale. Let that help your back stretch. Keep pressing into your hands. Super strong into your shoulders. I know it's a long hold. One more time. In through your nose. Big exhale. Nice. Okay, now even yourself out. One more big breath in here. Heels high. Exhale. Shift your weight forward. Come back up to standing. Or rather, to the top of your mat. Woo. Nice. From the top of your mat, we're going to walk your feet about mat width distance, turn your toes out, drop your hips down, and come into a nice big squat. Nice. Always the option to grab a block. Take a sec. Bring the backs of the hands together. We'll stretch out. Working on hip stuff and back stuff has a lot of wrist extension in it. just stretch that out a little bit. A nice big movement there. Good, big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. Good. All right, we're gonna carefully step back to downward facing dog from here. So hands plant, feet back. Good, pause here. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, now we're gonna step to the top of our mat once again. So inhale, heels high. Exhale to round, press into your hands and step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. So we're practicing moving up and down our mat. Couple different ways today. On the exhale, big lean over to the right. Good, a little faster through this time. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, take it to the left. Good, inhale, reach up nice and high. Exhale, little baby back bend, squeeze through the shoulders. Keep your lower ribs pulled in as you come into that back bend. Super strong core. Nice, inhale, arms reach up nice and high. Exhale, back to chair. Good, pause here for a moment. Good, palms flat like you're reaching forward. And then at the same time, squeeze shoulder blades towards your spine. Take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, low ribs, pull in. Now you want to keep your spine neutral. Try not to pull in and then, under round. You want to keep it nice and stacked. Good. So you can get just a smidge lower if that's okay for your body. Nice. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to fold forward, plant your hands, step back. Plank pose. Press the ground away. Very strong through the shoulders. Hold it here. Nice. Yeah, that's it. See if you can puff up through your upper back. One more breath in. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Yeah. Here come those extensions again. So reach the arms straight forward, fingertips to the floor. Take a breath in. Find that big exhale and pull your lower ribs in. Keep them really pulled in. Press your fingertips into the ground and start to lift. You're going to feel that tension come all the way down from your hands to your shoulders, coming down your back. Then press the tops of your feet down into the ground. Good. Now, if you've got any back pain going on, you might stop here. If you feel pretty good in your back today, keep pressing into your left hand, reach your right hand up, like you're going to give someone a handshake. Yep. Hold it here. Check in with your core. Are you still pulled in? And then right hand comes down, we'll switch. Press into the right, lift the left. Super strong through that right shoulder. Good. One more breath in. Everything lowers down. Bend your knees, feet side to side, lower your forehead. Take a little break. Good. Lower your feet back down. Inhale, tabletop. Take a big breath in. Nice big exhale. Inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward. Exhale, round back. Look at your fingertips, press into the ground. Stay here, look at your fingertips, take a breath in. Exhale, pull your lower ribs in. Good, inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward. Whew. Nice. Take a couple of circles, barrel rolls, side bends. Okay, from here, we're gonna come back to downward facing dog again, but we're gonna move with our bear crawls this time. So wiggle yourself to the very back of your mat. And then we'll curl your toes under and press back to downward facing dog. Good. Now this time we'll walk right hand and left foot forward. Pause here for a moment. And then left hand and right foot. Pause here for a moment and then keep going. So we're just taking slow steps to the very top of our mat. So we're using alternate sides of the body, alternate sides of the pelvis, getting our joints to work together. When you get to the top, we're going backwards. So nice and slow, no worries if you mix it up. Just pause and start again. Nice. When you get to the back of your mat, we'll walk ourselves one more time to the very top. And then we're going to sit into a squat. So when you get to the top of your mat, we'll walk your feet wide and sit yourself down into a squat. Then, all right, again, take a sec, shake out through the wrist. We're going to head into our side monkeys from here. I think you guys probably remember this one. This is where we plant the hands, we shift our weight into our hands. So remember that, like pressing the ground away, puffing up through the upper back here, and then little hop to the side, and then you sit back into your squat. So depending on, the space around you, you might go one to each side. Maybe you've got enough room to do a couple each way. Nice. Good. Okay, when you're evened up, come back to the middle. We'll hang out in our squat again. I have a new one to show us. So this is called the Monkey 360, which is essentially where you do a little twist in your monkey. So if I'm going to twist over to my left here, I'm going to plant my left hand on the ground, shift my weight over, plant my right hand, and then come back into my twist. So here's it the opposite way, right hand plants. So I'm essentially getting my hands to do the same position. It's just backwards, right? So they're coming back towards one another, planting the hands as I'm shifting my weight over, step, and then down. Okay. Or come all the way through. Nice. So we can give that a try. You can go halfway and pause. Keep going. Whew. If you need a little break for your hips, go ahead and stand up at any point. It's tough. They're advanced. We've been working on these a while, so gotta give you some extras if you want them. Okay, when you find your way back to the top of your mat, we'll move into some sun salutations. And then I'll have one extra little addition for you at the end, just to keep things fresh. All right, so from our squat, we'll stand up, plant our hands, and then walk back to your downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, walk your feet together at the back of your mat. On your inhale, right leg kicks up towards the ceiling. Bend your knee. Do a nice big hip stack. And then maybe a little circle through the ankle. Maybe you want to bring it into the hip. We'll reverse it. Make sure you're still pressing into the ground. Your low ribs are pulled in. Keeping those big body parts in mind. Next inhale, right leg up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, we're going to step this right leg forward. Go nice and slow. Round through your back. Come onto the ball of your foot. Set that foot forward. Okay, so we're going to rise up to a crescent lunge. So bring your left foot just out a little bit so you've got that nice hip width distance space. And we'll rise up to the top. Nice. Arms reach up. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. All right, let's see if we can get that kind of hamstring pull back like we did against the wall, so we get some hamstring engagement through that front muscle, or front leg rather. And then inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, let's slowly sit into a little bit of a lunge. Yeah, nice. Feel a nice big stretch for the back of the foot. Good. Next inhale, we're going to rise up to warrior two. So we'll inhale, straighten through the legs, open up, and then walk it out. Good. Any adjustments you need, go ahead and take that here. Again, still working on that hamstring pull back in the front leg. Lengthen, lift through the crown of your head. Shoulder blades squeeze. Pay attention to these low ribs. Trying to stack rib cage over pelvis. Yeah, nice. Good. Now, from your core, so instead of reaching at the shoulder and arm, from your core, reach and then tilt down for a side angle. So right arm down, left arm up. Good. Feel your shoulders. And then feel your core. Low ribs in, lengthen through the crown of your head. Nice. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Good. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Use your core. Reach up and back, but let it come from the center of your body. Nice. Option to take that half bind if you want it. Go for it. Still hamstring pull back. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. Back to warrior two. Coming back to crescent lunge, we'll plant your hands at your hips and then come onto the ball of your back foot and give it a little step out. Good. Now we're going to walk this front or back leg up for pyramid pose. So there's about 3 feet between your feet. So you can wiggle your heels a little closer together. Lengthen through the crown of your head. So you want to right away feel your low ribs pull in, so your core is strong. You can lengthen nice and tall. Nice. And then you can start to hinge for a pyramid. So you're going to feel your legs. Don't hyperextend through your knees. Make sure they're nice and soft. Your hips are in one line. We're going to have a tendency to open the hips towards the left here. So try to keep them nice and even. Nice. If you happen to have your blocks close, you can take them underneath your hands. Forgot to mention that, you guys. Sorry about that. If you can reach the floor, yeah, you can feel free to go for that. Good. Make sure you don't hyperextend at all. Good. Let's take one more big breath in. Slow breath out. Good. On your next inhale, rise back up. And then bend into this front knee. We're going to step all the way to the back of our mat. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, squat down. Once again into our squat. And then we're going to head into our frog hops forward. So this is where we plant our hands. We come into the hands, but instead of going sideways this time, we hop ourselves forward. We're practicing that hip stability, hip strength. Nice. If this is super hard for you, like it's super hard for me, one way to adapt is to put some height underneath your hands. I don't think I've tried this with you guys before. I learned this from someone else in a class. So if hands come to blocks, it's a little easier to get that hop. So if you struggle like I do, a little bit more space, and you're able to get the heels. Yeah. Nice. All right, we're going to hop ourselves to the back of our mat. And then if you didn't already, grab your blocks so that they are close. When we do pyramid on the other side, we can use them if we want them. Nice. And then we're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. So we'll crawl out of our squat right into our downward facing dog. Whew. Let's shake it out. Good. Fingers spread nice and wide. Deep breath in. Low ribs on the exhale. Feet together, back of your mat. Inhale, left leg up, bend your knees, stack your hip. Pause here for a moment, stretch it out. Good. Circling at the ankle or up at the hip. Make sure you go both directions. Good. Left leg, inhale, lengthen it up. On your exhale, we'll step it forward. Go slow. Knee to chest. Shifting on the ball of your back foot. Step left leg up. We're going to rise up for crescent lunge. Take your time. Feel the stability. Good. Adjust. Low ribs in. Nice. Hamstring pull back on that left leg. Arms up when you're ready. Good. Big breath in. Like you could hold it all day. Nice big exhale. Good. Let's take a little lunge down. Hold it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Pause here. Stack your body. Rib cage right over the pelvis. Shoulder blades squeeze. Still hamstring pulling back in this left leg. Good. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Nice. Now from your core, reach and then tilt. Good. Pressing left arm into left knee. Resisting it, but creating tension so that your joints are even stronger. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Half bind option. Keep pressing into the left side. So the left hamstring is still active. Yeah, that's it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice. Next inhale, back to warrior two. Hands to hips. And then again, we'll come into our pyramid pose. So we got our left leg forward in our pyramid. We'll walk the right foot up a little bit. So we got about 3 feet right between your heels. The back toes are just turned out a little bit. And we'll get that nice good length, good core engagement, and then start to hinge forward. Make sure you've got a little bit of bend through your knees. Perfect place to grab your blocks. And with the floor just a little bit closer to you, you can get a nice big stretch into your hamstrings. Good. Keep your core strong. There's such a pull to round and try to get your forehead to your knee here. That's a whole different position. We're trying to keep the stability through our core. Nice. That's it. Let's take one more big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Good. And then we'll slowly lift back up. And then again, we'll bend into the left knee. And we'll step to the back of our mat. We're going to go one round forward, one hop back, like one, mat length in our frog hops. And then I'm going to give you that one extra position today that we're going to play with. Couple of good hops in. Really making sure you're pressing through your shoulders. And then take them back. Yes. I love it. You guys are so good. Thanks for playing these silly games. All right, and then come back into your spot, and I'll show you our next thing. Is a little bit more complicated, but it's kind of it's going off of the bear crawls that we did in our downward facing dog. So once again, we'll walk ourselves into down dog, and then we'll do our bear crawls. So as we go right hand and left foot, then we're going to drop towards that left side. And then we come back, and we go left hand, right foot, and we drop towards the bent knee side. Oh, I'm sorry. We drop towards the straight leg side. That was opposite. Let me start again. So we're in down dog. We're going to go right hand and left knee, okay? And then I'm going to drop towards the straight leg side, and I'm going to lift my arm up. And we'll come back. We'll walk the opposite side up. And then I'm going to go towards the straight leg side. Got it? It takes a lot of thinking. This is why it's so good for us. So each time you walk forward, you're going to be offset. Whichever leg is forward, you're going to drop to the opposite side. Okay? These are called twisted bears. They're like a halfway between Spider-Man crunches, which are new things that we might do another time. All right, so when you make your way back to the top of your mat, we'll pause here. Let's do a nice big wrist stretch. Coming into tabletop, we'll bring the heels of the hands forward, fingertips towards your knees. Remember, the closer your hands are towards your knees, the less intense it is. So if you need to ease it up, go ahead and get nice and close. And you can stretch forward and back. Whew. Taking a second to check in with how your mid-back, your lower back, your hips feel. Hopefully they've had a lot of good, funny movements. We call these dynamic movements. Trying to introduce a lot of different variables so that your brain has to work and work and work. So it's nervous system, it's strengthening, it's mobility, it's stretching, it's all kind of together, which makes it a lot harder, right? Even if the movements don't necessarily look as if they're super challenging, there's so many pieces to them that they really are. Nice. Yeah, let's go ahead and sit back, shake out the hands. Let's make ourselves interlace the fingers, make ourselves a nice rave ball and circle that out a little bit. Good. Make sure you're alternating which hand is doing the movement. Good. All right, let that go. Shake it out. We'll come to a seat. We'll sit to one side. Let your legs come into a nice big straddle. And then flex through your ankles so your toes point up towards the ceiling. We'll press into your heels so you really feel your hammies. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, low ribs in, you do a little rounding through your back, hands come to the floor and just kind of wiggle them forward as far as they want to. Pause here for a moment, we'll take a nice big stretch. Keep pressing your heels into the ground. So we get that active stretching happening. Can't hyperextend, right, if we're engaged through these muscles. Good, big breath in. Nice, slow exhale. Nice inhale, we'll come back up to the middle. Let's bring your left leg in. We'll bring the sole of your foot to the right, straight right leg here. And then turn your body towards your right leg. And then reach your arms overhead. And as you exhale, low ribs pull in and we'll round and gently reach towards your foot. Yeah, relax your head, your neck, maybe a couple of circles or just a little bit of shaking the head up. Good, and the next inhale, come back to center. Listen here, we're gonna go left hand to the ground, kind of close to your left hip. Roll onto your left knee and lift your right foot up so you can reach overhead. Pressing into left arm, make sure that shoulder is really supported. Take a big breath in, big stretch for this right shoulder. And then exhale, slowly sit back down. Control it as you come down. Yeah, nice, good. And then we'll switch up. Left leg out, right leg in. We'll turn towards right leg. Arms reach overhead, big breath in. Exhale, take it down. Nice and easy. Okay, one more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, reach up to center. Right hand this time plants next to your right hip. You're gonna roll onto right knee, and then hips go up towards the ceiling. We'll reach left bicep along your ear. Good. Pressing into right hand, really stabilizing the right shoulder. And then as you exhale, slowly sit back down. Nice. Good. And then we'll turn to bring our feet to the top of the mat. Our legs straight out in front of us, and we'll slowly make our way once again onto our backs. And then we'll take knees in towards our chest. Taking a moment to notice how that feels compared to how it felt at the beginning of class. And let's just take this to a nice, easy twist. We'll drop our knees over to the right. Option to grab a block to stick underneath or between your knees. And then arms out like a big capital letter T. Okay, back to the middle. Pausing once again in the middle. Then exhale, dropping off to the other side. Big capital T with the arms. Maybe the arms are a little closer to your head for a little bit more intensity in that stretch. And back to the middle one more time. Nice. So if there's anything else you want to take before you find final Shavasana, feel free to do that now. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet in that final resting pose. Yeah. Maybe the legs are long. Maybe you keep your knees bent and shuffle your knees in, but let your toes go wide. Maybe you want a butterfly. We'll just take a few moments to be nice and restful here. Friends, let's take one more slow breath in. Nice slow exhale as you start to come back. Take a moment to notice middle back, lower back, hips, feeling the sensations in those areas of your body. And then slowly starting to wiggle toes and fingers, wrists and ankles. And we'll make our way in your own time back up to your comfortable seat. Once you get here, let's take hands together at our hearts. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste. Thanks. I hope you guys feel really good.